right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call I'm Eloheinu with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Harakak. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who want to teach well, and a hearty Shalom to the elect. All right, it's your brother Karat is back with another lesson, and through the Spirit, probably Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And persecution, all right, is going to come. All right, we got to keep that in mind. Yes, there's tension brewing up in the Middle East between Israel and Iran and America and these other nations. Eventually will get involved, okay? However, the Spirit of the Lord wants to move those things, all right? We just have to be patient and wait. But while we are being patient and waiting, because we see things happening that, you know, the apostles and elders have been preaching about for decades, okay? And as we see these things happen, we must keep in mind, okay, that persecution is going to come, all right? Persecution is going to come, all right? And since we've been preaching and teaching and calling upon the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, that is going to bring about persecution because the world doesn't know the name of the Lord or his son. And what we are teaching is contrary to what the world knows and what the world teaches. So it's going to be an issue, all right? So let me get this word for persecution, all right? Persecution. All right, here it says, here in my Bible dictionary, what I'm looking at, it says a test of discipleship is a form of persecution, okay? All right, it says it would be a test of true discipleship. In the parable of the sower, he mentions this as one of the causes of defection among those who are, it says Christians, all right, but I'm saying Israelites, all right, because that's what we are. It says he mentions this as one of the causes of defection among those who are Israelites in outward appearance only. So those that only are believers out in outward appearance, the persecution of, you know, trusting and calling upon the name of the Lord can cause some individuals to sway away from the truth, all right? It says when affliction or a persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately the stony ground hearers are offended. All right, and that's in Mark the 4th chapter. Let me get that, all right? Because what I want to read out of is Matthew the 24th chapter, but we're going to see how this goes. All right, this is this is Mark chapter 4 and verse 14. It says, the sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown, but when they have heard it, Satan cometh immediately and taketh the word that was sown in their hearts away. And these are likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time afterward. When affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And it says, for offended, cause to stumble. All right, and we can't be made to stumble when we hear that word persecution, or we know that affliction is coming because of our trust in the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai and our confession of those names. All right, because reading in the Apocrypha, Second Ezra, the 2nd chapter, and I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna just get straight to the point. This is 2 Ezra 2:45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, or the name of God, which his name is Yahweh. Now they are crowned and receive palms. So confessing the name of the Lord is going to lead to you receiving a gift from Yahweh Shema Shai, which is salvation. all right, and a seat in the rulership, uh, in the seat and a seat in the rulership with Yahweh Shai. All right, you're gonna get a crown placed upon your head. It says, verse 46, then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of Yahweh whom they have confessed in the world. Then I began greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. So this individual that was sown on stony ground, when affliction came, they ran away. We can't be in that mindset, because our mindset is to get these crowns, to finish the race. Our mindset is to endure going through that straight gate. Okay, endure going through the straight gate. Let me get that straight gate scripture. This is Matthew the 7th chapter and the 13th verse. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and there be many which go in thereat. So the way of this world is a way of broadness and destruction, okay? Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few be there that find it, all right? And in order for us to make it through persecution, all right, we're gonna have to go through that straight gate, all right? Let me see. Let's see what it is. What it says for straight gate. All right, it says the straight gate refers to a narrow entrance, often used metaphorically in religious contexts to symbolize a difficult or challenging path to salvation or spiritual enlightenment. All right, so the path to salvation is not going to be easy. The path to salvation requires you to go through persecution. All right. All right, key points about the straight gate: narrowness. It says the gate's narrowness emphasizes the difficulty of the path and the need for focused effort. Entering the straight gate requires striving, perseverance, and a willingness to leave behind certain things. And we're going to have to leave behind our family. We're going to have to leave behind things of this world. We're going to have to leave behind our jobs, our kids, whatever the case may be. We're going to have to leave those things behind. And upon us leaving those things behind, we're going to grow. All right? We're going to grow. It says choice. It says the metaphor highlights the importance of choosing the right path, even if it's the more challenging one. All right. It says spiritual significance. In religious context, the straight gate is often associated with spiritual growth, salvation, and eternal life. All right. That's what we get when we go through the straight gate. And going through that straight gate is going to be, in a sense, a form of persecution, because, like I just read, we're going to have to leave certain things behind. All right. It says, under the term for effort, it says, entering the straight gate requires striving, perseverance, and willingness to leave behind certain things. All right. We're gonna have, in order for us to grow, we're gonna have to do that. All right. And the narrowness, it said again, I'm gonna just repeat it. It says emphasizes the difficulty of the path and the need for focused effort. So we're gonna have to focus on perseverance and willingness to leave things behind and striving. All right. But those are characteristics that we're gonna have to go through in this form of persecution that will arise. I don't want to say may, because it will arise. Okay, persecution will arise. All right. Let me go to Matthew the 24th chapter, because there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. All right. There's a lot of things going on in the world. All right. This is Matthew 24. And I'm going to start at 5. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, and we hearing these things with Russia and China possibly getting involved with America's involvement of them bombing Iran, all right? Even though there was a ceasefire that was called, their ceasefire was broken, and things are still going on between these two nations, which is great, all right? It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. There was an earthquake in Iran today, a 5.1. All right, and then you got these blazing temperature heats that's all across the East Coast. Okay, and then there was some. I think it was like last week, or like early last week or late last week, there was some storms or tornadoes going on in North Dakota and shit like that, right? These things are happening because we are getting closer and closer to getting up out of here, but we still gotta have these pestilences and famines, all right? And there's going to be a famine later on eventually, because the people that were out here doing these crop works, guess where they at? They getting deported out of America. So guess who's going to be in the fields now? These Edomites, all right? And these Edomites they're not used to that kind of labor, and since they're not used to that kind of labor, how are they going to be able to do the amount of work that Issachar was doing, the Northern Kingdom was doing down there in them fields? How are they going to be able to do that, right? They'll do it eventually, but to keep their farm up and running and going, right? It says here, but with those individuals not being able to produce as much fruits and vegetables to these small cities or to these grocery stores with all these people in these large cities, is going to cause a famine, all right? It's going to cause lack of food being pushed into the stores, and then people with that mindset of fear, they're going to be hoarders, all right? And if those people are hoarding things, guess what? Since the demand is high and the production of it is low, the cost of it is going to go up, all right? It says here, verse 8, Matthew 24:8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, all right? And guess what's going to come with those sorrows, man, all right? Death, having to leave stuff and people behind. Let's see what the word sorrow means. And I got to go back into that word persecution. All right, sorrow. It says pain and distress. It says here, distress, lamentation, grief, heaviness. Sorrow or grief is necessary for this discipline, for the development of finer feelings and the nature of art. So basically is distress, is pining, pangs, toil. What else did I read? Lamentation, distress, heaviness, grief. Okay, those things are related to sorrow, and with those things related to that sorrow, it's gonna be upon the whole world. All right. Then we have here, verse 9. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many of you be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And that's what's going to come. All right. The Lord prophesied of these things. All right. Not saying anything bad upon Peter, right? But Peter denied the Lord 3 times, as the Lord said he would. Okay. I can't remember what that is off the top of my head. Let me see if I can just find it by skimming through. All right, here we go. This is something that the Lord told Peter that he was going to do, just like the Lord told us that there's going to be a denial of him, or people are going to be offended about the name of the word, all right, about the word. So this is Matthew 26:31. Then saith Yahushua unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night, For it is written, I will smite the sheep and the shepherd. I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Yahushua said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet I will not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. And then it went into Peter denying the Lord. All right. Then it went into Peter denying the Lord, just like the Lord prophesied in Matthew the 24th chapter that men will be offended and betray one another and shall hate one another because of the name of the Lord, because of his name's sake. Okay. All right. So to be afflicted, in verse 9 it says tribulation. All right. Let's see what Matthew 10 and 17 says. All right, this is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 17. It says warnings of persecution. All right. It says here, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So our conduct, that's the Lord's talking about our conduct, how we should be conducting ourselves. It says, But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they shall scourge you in their synagogues, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speaketh, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brothers to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And then we have to endure. All right, persecution is coming, just like famine is coming, just like pestilence is coming, just like death on a mass level, just like nuclear missiles are coming, just like the MOTB is coming, just like deliverance and salvation is coming. All right. Verse 23 says, But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye into another. Verily I say unto you, ye shall have not gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. All right, so we gonna get persecuted, just like the disciples of the Lord was persecuted. We're gonna get persecuted, just like the Lord was persecuted. It was prophesied. Okay, so persecution is gonna come, but with that persecution coming, guess what's gonna come? This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 11. Let me start at 10. It says, Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. All right, so to be persecuted is to suffer. All right, it's to go through sorrow, it's to go through pain and grief, it's to go through distress and heaviness. All right, just like entering into that straight gate. It's a persecution is a form of the straight gate, right? It says here, and just like we read in Second Exodus, the second chapter. All right, those that confessed the name of the Lord, those that went through that straight gate and that persecution, all right, they received the crown and palms in their hands. Okay, all right, and they got to rule with the Lord. So we can think in our minds that, hey, we're gonna go through it now, but when the heat gets turned up, when the Lord's trying to try you with gold in the fire, we don't know how we're going to react, but the Lord gave us specific instructions on how to react. All right, I'm gonna read it again, but I'm gonna read it in Luke the 19th chapter. All right, it says here, this is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 11. It says, Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ain't nobody getting persecuted for calling on Jesus Christ, man. All right, because the name Jesus Christ ain't ruffling no feathers out here. The name Jesus Christ ain't bringing forth prophecy. All right, the name Yahweh Shem Yahushai is bringing forth prophecy. All right, calling upon those names, us praying to those names is making the Lord, which was gonna happen anyway, bring about the things that he wrote, that the prophets wrote of in the Bible. All right, that's what that's about. So calling upon Jesus Christ ain't doing nothing. All right. Calling upon Jesus Christ ain't doing nothing. Okay. What is calling upon the name of Yahweh Shem Shai is doing everything. All right. Because the name of the Lord, what is it, man? It's like Ezekiel, the 25th chapter. No, it's the 12th chapter, and about the 25th and the 21st verse. All right, where it said the Lord's gonna bring about the thing that He said He was gonna bring about. All right, let me see. And it didn't mention about the name. All right, yeah, this is Ezekiel 12 and 25. It says, "For I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith Yahweh power. And the word again came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of things that are of times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith Yahweh power." So everything that the Lord wrote through everything that the Lord wrote through his prophets, all right, and spoke through his prophets, okay, is going to come to pass. But my point is saying that is that that Jesus Christ's name ain't bringing about nothing, man, but more confusion amongst our people. All right, that's what it is. All right, and I done lost my point, but the Lord gave us instructions on how we need to act in the time of persecution. All right, and then we have men such as Eleazar in the book of 2nd Maccabees as an example how to act during the times of persecution. All right, and the same thing with the 7 brothers and their mother. All right, this is Matthew chapter 21 and verse 12. It says, "Before all these they shall lay their hands on you, before the earthquakes and the kingdom rising up against another kingdom." All right, it says, "They shall lay their hands on you and shall persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake." This just reminded me how Peter was in the prison, all right, and the Lord sent the angel to come deliver him up out of being in that prison. Okay, the same thing can happen for brothers when they get locked up, wherever they get locked up at. All right, it says here, "And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore not in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and a wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of them shall they cause to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake." All right, for the name's sake of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, yeah, they have these they have these little, spit spats with Christians on the streets and all this other nonsense, but they're not really bringing no heavy persecution to Christians, like they're gonna be bringing to the men of the Lord, okay, the Hebrew Israelites, okay. It says, but there shall not a hair of your head perish, and your patience possess your soul. So we got to be patient in the time of persecution. We got to be able to believe and trust in the Lord in the time of persecution, like we are building up our faith and our confidence in the Lord now. All right, so persecution is going to come, and as it comes, just stand strong. All right, stand strong, because everything that the Lord said is going to happen, where people are going to portray you, and where he's going to put the Spirit on us to say what it is that we need to say in that time of persecution. So Lord will, you is edified. To the next time, Shalom.